Well, we're coming up to the end of summer now. September has arrived, so it's going to be autumn soon. Now, it's got me thinking, I want to winterise the van. It's got these big windows, right? Big glass windows, which great for visibility. Let loads of light in, let the warmth of the sun in. But there's a drawback, and that's that they let loads of heat out in winter. Also, the curtains, as lovely as they are, we just unclip and pull them across, they don't kind of like hang too well. If I pull them around the front, that hangs down like that. Anyway, it doesn't block all the light, and one of them's a bit short. So what I've got to do, according to the internet, is fit thermal blinds. Now herein lies a problem. Really? Really? A problem? Surely that's not a problem, just a challenge. Yeah. So the problem is, you can't get anything for a 1988 Toyota Hiace Campervan, right? What you can get is some materials to do it yourself. See, that's the thing, you know, everybody loves Volkswagen for some reason, so they've all bought Volkswagen, everybody produces stuff for Volkswagen. I could buy I don't know, probably that for the very first Volkswagen ever made, you know, but for Toyota Hiace, can't buy anything. So literally what I've got to do, I've got to make the measurements, and I've got to make the patterns, and I've got to cut material, and I've got to work out a way of fixing it, and so on and so forth. That's a challenge, and I shall rise to it. Ooh, what we got? May the road rise with you. There we go. I've been to Wix and I've bought some Thermowrap general purpose wrap. Easy fit general purpose insulation for wall and floor application. It works by reflecting radiant heat, much like light hitting a mirror. This gives a warmer, money saving environment. It helps reduce your carbon footprint too. Cooler in summer, warmer in winter. Now, this is basically metallized bubble wrap, so there's going to be some sort of thermal property as well as the reflective side of things. It's going to produce a little bit of a barrier. That's the hope and the plan. So what I need to do is I need to cut this. This is 1 metre by 7 metres, and it cost me 17.5 quid. Okay, so it's not expensive. Did some base measurements. You've got to imagine everything is a perfect rectangle here. So 135 by 65, that's outside dimensions. Okay, 150 by 55, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I worked out, because I was going to buy some stuff off the internet, so I worked out how to size it, because this is what you'll need to do. If you're gonna buy a roll and use that, you want to work out how best to put it together. So with your measurements, you'd work out how best to fit it to then cut it, okay, so that you've got minimum wastage. So we've got the back windscreen, the 2 rear windows, 2 middle windows, the front windscreen, and the 2 side windows in the cab. Okay, now I'm going to have to start this from scratch. Going to remeasure these and make sure I get it right, and then we're going to work it out on paper, and then I've got to go and work out actually with the right stuff and cut it exactly. So here goes. Okay, so I've redone it. Now I've gone for the longest external dimension. Okay, so for example, the rear windscreen, the one I look out when I'm reversing, that's 128 centimeters by 60 centimeters deep. Right. The rear windows, rear side windows, 144 by 51. Okay, now that 51, on the inside the rubber comes up slightly more, so I'm going to cut those as 50-50. That gives me half my 1 metre sheet. Okay, and then I'll trim it down ever so slightly if I need to, but I'm going to be around about there. Might have to take half centimetre off on each of these dimensions. So I'm good to go on that. Middle one, 117 by 51. The door, 88 by 50. Now that's quite interesting because the door is actually a different shape. Okay, the windscreen or the windows on the door, they're something like, no, how are they, sorry, they're like that. Totally missed it, something like that. Okay, so this down here is 50. Okay, and that's your 88. So there's a few bits of scrap there. Then 150 by 80 for the windscreen. So all my dimensions should do it. Now I've just got to work out and put all these together to work out if I can get it all out of one 7-meter roll. Fingers crossed. Well, look at that. That's amazing. That's amazing. I've done it. So 1m28, 144, 117, 88 and 150. That is my pink bits, is my different windows that I've got to get out of 7-meter roll. The whole green bit is a 7 meters. Chosen those colours because they clash so well. I mean, this is like punk rock hair. So as you can see, this is a full 7 meters. Now that's 1.5. Hang on, I'm going to pause and add it up with my calculator. 6 meters 27. 6 meters 27. That leaves me 73 centimeters on the long end. Woohoo! And so this is clearly not very well drawn scale. So 73 centimeters on the long end. Woohoo! Brilliant, excellent. Well, it's all laid out on the table, dining room table. That's where I built them train sets. Now, what I've done is I marked 1m28, 1m28, and then so that I can cut nice and straight, I've put a bit of masking tape. It's quite handy with these circles built into it. You can actually see your line, so you can follow your line. So that's basically at the bottom of one circle there that I've made my mark, which means down here at the bottom of one circle where I made that mark, we're with it. Where's my mark? There's my mark. So yeah, so you can see. So that's my straight. So I'm going to cut that now. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm now cutting up the long end. So I tell you what, this stuff is actually really nice to cut. Cuts really well. So I'm quite pleased with that. So there we go. I went out and offered it up, and then I checked what my narrow bit at the top measured and took that off. So I've got, I can't remember if it's a rhombus or whatever it is. Anyway, so as you can see, it's angled. So that's windscreen shaped. I couldn't show you doing it because I couldn't do it one-handed and film at the same time. So we're going to have a look now. Okay, so I've taped it down here and I've gone up. Now, it's quite funny because I've got a little gap at the top here. Where this curves down, I haven't. And at the sides, I've got a little gap. Both sides. Measure once and you mess it up. Measure twice, you still mess it up. Anyway, what I've done is I've pushed it into the bend there, gone round with my black marker pen, black Sharpie. Let me show you from outside. So that's what I've got. That is my thermal insulation, my reflective thermal insulation. Now, when it's finished, it's quite good actually because it clears that bit there, that wire, whatever that is. Same on the other side. And when it's actually finished, that should sit flatter against the windscreen, so it's going to be held down with something. Not quite sure how yet. Gaps. Obviously I'd like to have done it without gaps, but I do want a little bit of light coming in, so you know, I want privacy. I want it to be blocked off and so on. I want it to be warm and that, but a little bit of light isn't going to be an issue. Yeah. The first one, and possibly, well, with the exception of the windows in the cab, that's the most difficult done. There you go, cut the curves off. Now they will go nicely up in there. Job's good and brilliant. I just got to do that little corner there, that little corner there. Okay, so the mistake I made, total schoolboy error. Okay, it's my own fault, but it's fine. So I've got that bit there. So what I did, I worked out that this was 108 up here, and that was 128 down there. There's a slight curve there, and never mind. It's like a centimetre. Yeah, about a centimetre on each side. That's fine. That's good. I could do something about that to fill that bit, but probably not going to. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're ripping through it now. 50 centimetres wide, 145 centimetres long. That gives me 1 centimetre breathing space at the end to trim off. That gives me the exact size with a slight bit of glimmer, slight glimmer of light around the side. So a slight glimmer of light and a little bit of breathing space. So let's go check this out. One of these, obviously, at the moment, has my solar panel in. I might stick another solar panel on the other side, but anyway, let's go check it out. Oh, this is good. This is good. It's actually held in underneath the rubber. I've literally cut those two little bits off on there because this is a pretty good rectangle. There's a slight kind of angle at the back there, so I've pushed that in, pressed that in, and I'm going to start cutting once I've drawn down that. Let's have a little look from the outside. I haven't checked the outside of that one yet. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I could get up to all manner of nefariousness in there and nobody would know, and I'd be warm, so I could be naked and nefarious. Perish the thought. I'm not doing a video. Oh, I could do a video naked and nefarious in that Campervan. Let's wait for the blackout. Well, there goes the forward side windows, both in. It's really starting to come together. Looky, looky. It's already darkened down. The sides are nice and sealed. Look at that. There's still a bit of light comes in through the skylight, and I'd have to unscrew that unit to put the side one in there, but that's really good. Just got to do the windscreen now. Well, that's that window done. I've had to put a little fillet in at the end because I didn't realise there's kind of like a slope there. Oh, what do we think of that? I was holding it in position with masking tape. I've left a bit in there, so it's not perfect, but that's one side completely done. So here we go, back, side, front. This was the hardest, the windscreen, because of gravity it keeps bowing inwards, doesn't like to get up to the edges. Really difficult shape, difficult curves, difficult with the gravity. Side, side. This one is cut but not put in. Can't install it just yet, and I'll have to go behind the solar panel, obviously, and then the rear windscreen. So let's have a look. Not bad at all. A little gappy, but not by much. And none of that is going to cause me issues with getting cold. So I'm going to need quite a lot of suction pads there to stick that in at the front, and I'll try and fill the gaps with black tape. Side windows, front are good. Side windows spot on. Spot on, spot on. Spot on. Now, yeah, I'm pleased with that. £17.50. I've done a good enough job. That's going to be absolutely what I need. Well, I'm now at the stage of finishing off my thermal screens. So, what I've done is I've just put an edge on. This is just plain black electrical tape. Okay, it's an edge on, just stop it from fraying. Now, what I've also bought is a punch. This is a 1/2 inch punch with a 1/2 inch kind of, well, it's a setting tool. I don't know what the proper word is. And a 1/2 inch die, I think that's called. Now this is to make holes for my 1/2 inch eyelets, which come in 2 parts. That's the bit with the lip, and that's, well, there's another one with the lip on. Those are the thin discs. Now, I shall show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. I've gone, about 4 centimeters in from each edge, 3-4 centimeters. Okay, chosen my spot, and I'm going to hit with my hammer. It's my big hammer here. Punch out a hole. Right. Don't do it on your table. Do it on a bit of scrap wood. Okay. Then the eyelet that's got the bit coming through goes on there, and then rests on the grommet holding tool like so. Now I'm going to pop the other disc on top. Okay, facing the right way around. I know it's a bit tight. Let's have a look, see if we can get that slightly better angle. There we go. Now with my die, my punch die, pop that there. Going to give it a couple of sharp taps. There we go. There we go. And now you see I've created my eyelet. That's really good. So with the first eyelet made, I'm going to go across here and I'm going to put one centrally there. Put another one there. Another one here. Another one in that top corner. Okay. So with the eyelets done, the next step is to fit them to the windows. Now, these do push in and stay in place on the side, like I said. However, belt and braces. Okay, I bought some suction cups. I've got like a kind of like a barb. They're soft rubber, so I'm going to push those through. So basically, I can stick this onto the windows, keep it firmer. That's mainly for the front and back ones, but let's go for some uniformity. Yeah. There we are. I've done them. So the end result is I've got these suction cups through there. I turn it over. You'll see there's the cup. So that's going to stick nicely to the window, and that is one completed thermal blind. Now, obviously, because this one goes on the other side, I haven't finished taping it up because I just run out of tape. Okay, this one goes on the other side, so I've got to make sure that I put my suction cups the other way. Okay, because otherwise they ain't gonna stick. The beauty of these is to put it through the grommet. You just squeeze and push through, and it's a bit of a tight fit. Then you pull it either side of those barbs, and that ain't going to come out. There we go. Look at that. It's all done. That's a really neat job. Lovely. Lovely and smart. And here's my little suction cup seen from the outside. Less than 50 quid for all the stuff to do this. 8 windows on a long wheelbase Toyota Hiace camper van. There's a lot of glass there.